Welcome to Shadow Empire Academy. Today you will learn how the combat in Shadow Empire works, how to read the combat screen, including all statistics here, and how to read reports after the battle. On top of that, we will discuss the statistics of your units, how to use stratagem posture cards, also how to choose terrain for your advantage, and how the lack of supply affects your combat. Let's start. In this tutorial, our main goal is to conquer this city, Gallia. It's owned by the minor regime. We declared war, and they very quickly accumulated a lot of units in the city hex. So let's check our situation here. As you can see in the city, the enemy managed to group quite a lot of units. You can see green brigade and purple brigade, so two brigades for sure, and probably some independent units. And in the right side, this is information about this hex, and one of the options can show us the stack. So here, the stack of units of the enemy contains 141 subunits. So here we can see that they have quite many forces in the city, and they are entrenching, because you can see that here the entrenchment is 100. And if we click this button, we can see that they are in ruins, and their maximum entrenchment for infantry can be 250. So over time, this number will grow up to 250. So we don't have much time for our attack. Please notice that the automatic entrenchment when any unit is entering ruins should be 125, but we can see 100. This information is false because we don't have enough recon, because our recon is 112. It means that in ruins, where there are also some hidden points, we don't have enough recon to know all information about our enemy. So you should treat anything that the game tell you about your enemy, if you don't have 400 recon, with grain of salt. So 100 is, I would say, 1/4 of what we could know about the enemy. It can be true, it can be false. This number also can be false. We explained the importance of recon in our video From Recon to Victory, which I recommend. Okay, so we know that we don't have much time, and they are entrenching, so let's do something with that. And let's attack. We have great tanks. We are in the inspect mode, so we need to switch to the move mode. Now the game shows us, using the red arrows, all places from which we can attack enemy units. This unit can be attacked from three different sides, so I can move and attack, or stay and attack, or I can move here and attack from northeast, this unit, or move here and attack from north. So it's up to you. But please notice that I cannot attack this unit or this unit from the south direction. This is because lack of action points. This unit have 86 action points, and the cost of movement here, as you can see in the bottom right, that the cost is 60 action points. And to attack enemy unit, I need to also pay for entering that hex, and each round of the battle costs 10 action points. So I don't have enough points to even start a battle from that direction. Also here there is Savannah. So the decision from which side to attack enemy units is quite important, and you should consider your action points and readiness. There is a strong correlation between action points and readiness. So this is important when you're approaching your enemy. For example, if I have this infantry far away from the rest of the group, if I will move it south, you're spending the 100 action points, please notice that the readiness will also change. So let's do this. You can see I spent 100 action points, and the readiness dropped by 30 points. So if I would continue such movement, the readiness will systematically drop. Each turn, the readiness increase a bit if the unit is not hungry and have supplies, but the readiness will decrease while you are moving. And for the wheeled and tracked units, the decrease is slower. So for example, here I have recon buggies. I will spend 90 action points, and the readiness is 85. After moving is 76. So I have lost only one readiness for 10 action points. So 9 readiness during this movement, and infantry lost 30. That's why if you have motorized infantry, it's a good way to move fast and also fight in the same turn without losing a lot of readiness. But normal foot infantry will always struggle with readiness. Now let's deal with those units in the city. So attack them, because we have great tanks. but something went wrong. Maybe we were too fast with that decision about this attack. What went wrong? Maybe this is not Panzer General when we can click a tank unit and attack and forget. Here there are many different elements that we need to think about before we attack. So let's double check. If we click our enemies, now you can see that we know more about them because the recon, because of the attack that we perform, increased to 672. So now we know everything about them, and we know that the real entrenchment is 134, not 100 as we saw before. That was false information. Also, if we click on the unit, we can see that their commander for the green brigade with green color on the background give an order for fluid defense, which is increasing their defense by 30%. Also, the other brigade, so the purple one, have different commander, and this commander gave an order, hold the line, don't let them enter the city. And it's increasing their defense by 50%, and also they will retreat only at 80% of losses. So it will be very hard to move them away from the city. Their entrenchment is 174, so even higher. Another inconvenient factor is that the city is in ruins, so not only entrenchment can grow, but if we hover here over this image, we can see that tanks have attack modifier minus 50%. So it means that not only entrenchment is higher for the enemy, but also our tanks are not very good in fighting in ruins. So you should really carefully choose the hex in which you will perform a fighting and choose the correct units for that fight. So let's select another tank because here we have two tank battalions. I can click once again to switch to different unit, or here I can double click by clicking I switch over the stack here. This unit can still perform an attack, and let's check the combat screen more carefully. So now the odds are better because the previous attack was not easy to defend. They lost some readiness and also they lost some entrenchment, and we gain a lot of recon. Now we know the situation much more and what we can read. And with recon 400 from 400 required, we can trust those numbers. If this recon is lower than 400, we cannot fully trust those numbers. Even the odds can be false. So what we see here, the landscape modifier. So this is the effect of ruins, and our tanks have minus 50% attacking according to the terrain, and the average percentage is minus 34 because we have also motorcycles. As you can see here, we have also 300 motorcycles, which are mixed in our tank battalion because I have customized the tank formation. You can watch the video about formations if you would like to learn more. So the terrain is not in our favor. Now we have some groups of icons. So the first two are for readiness, and the order is always attack, hit points, attack, hit points, attack, hit points. So here we have modifier for attack because of the readiness, which is not good. Our units are not fully ready to fight, especially riders, because tanks are fine, as you can see in the hint, but riders minus 40%, but on average minus 13. The effect of readiness on hit points also not very good for riders, but for tanks only minimal. Effect of experience for attack, very good. Effect of experience for hit points, also very good. This is the influence of leader on attack and influence of leader on our hit points. And then we have a sum of those percentages. So here we can see our offensive power, so attack plus hit points for all units that we selected here. So if I selected only one unit to attack, I have stats for this one unit, but if I select, let's say, also from here, I can select another unit to help, and those numbers are changing. So those numbers here are only for the units that I selected to this attack. And those units are the units that can participate in the attack. Even our tanks from the previous battle have some action points to perform another attack. But you can see that adding them does not help because even it's worsening the situation. So not always adding more units is helping. Sometimes you need to choose the correct units. If we keep only this unit, we can see that the readiness is minus 80%. And the readiness is very important factor, one of the most important. So unit with such low readiness will not helping us at all. So let's switch to the better units which have less damage for their readiness. Also, please notice that the enemy, here are stats about enemy forces that are defending. We know that there is 10,400 soldiers and 10 guns and 10 motorized unit and 70 tanks. So quite interesting force that is defending the city, and they are entrenched because of the ruins. Readiness is also not very good in their situation. They are not very experienced. And also the stratagem card. This is symbol of stratagem card. It's giving them quite nice bonus to the defense. But this number means that they might have problem with attacking. There are too many units in their stack compared to our units. So not everybody can participate effectively in the fight if we have so many people, which is rational because how many people can fight in one or two streets with a few tanks. So we know that not all of them will be dangerous for us. Some units even will attack with minus 50%. And those numbers are also negative modifiers for attack at hit points because of this number that we saw before, so the stack. So effectively, you can have 100 stack points in the hex, but they have much more. If we go back, you can see they have 113. So that's why they have a penalty. It's too many units in one hex. It applies for attacking unit and for defending unit. But attacking unit can increase the maximum stack value if they attack from multiple directions. And defender units cannot. And also we can see that their commander is giving them 30% positive bonus. And this is a caliber modifier. So because we are attacking with tanks, our tanks have armor. In this case, if we check our tanks, you can see that the tank has 25 millimeter steel plating. It's quite thin armor. 50 would be better protection, but 25 is still quite effective against normal small arms weapon because normally infantry small arms weapon have 20 millimeter penetration and I have 25 millimeter armor. So if we divide 20 by 25, it means their efficiency of their weapon is 80%. So they are losing about 20% by attacking armored target, like our tanks. So that's why we can see that they have nearly minus 20% because of our armor compared to their weapon. And here the same sum of modifiers and sum of hit points and attack, and here final number after applying all modifiers. So the odds that we can see here, the more green they are, the better. If they are red, then it's very bad. So the odds are not telling us who will win the battle, but who have better conditions on the battlefield. So I wouldn't attack with that modifier. Maybe we need to do something else. We can try to use our infantry, but 2 units probably will be not enough, but we can check and add also the infantry from the south. So this, and you can click on the map here on the hex or here. So I can deselect this unit and click here. It will be the same. Please notice here we can see also the concentric attack modifier. So if we attack from more than one direction, we also have advantage. If I would be able to attack also from another side, this bonus would increase. So let's try to do this. So call for help, and this unit will move here. It will cost us 45 action points. So quite a lot, but we have full readiness and full action points, so it's very good. And also the morale of the units is quite high. So this unit can help. The 45 cost of entering this hex is quite big. It's because if we click on this hex without moving, you can see that here, this number means what is the penalty for the action points. And we have additional 10 action points because of an enemy zone of control and additional 10 because we will take this hex from the enemy. So we pay plus 20 action points by entering this hex on top of the cost of the terrain. So for Savannah, for infantry, the cost is 25. So it's 45 at the end, but let's do it. Now when you hide the units using the hotkey 1, you can see in each hex that is under our control, we can see the penalty of movement also here. 20, 10, 10, 10. This will disappear after next round, but if we take the hex from the enemy or from unaligned forces, in that round we can see the penalty, what was applied for the movement. So moving in nearby active enemy that has zone of control is more costly, but we can still help our units. So let's check. Any unit can start the attack, and then I can add to the attack any other units. So we are attacking now from 3 sides, and you can see that the concentric bonus is 45%. So we increased our chances a lot, but the odds are still not in our favor because they are defending well, they are entrenched, and we don't have armor protection. We can try also adding the tank, but it's not helping. Please notice that the bonus from the leader is quite huge. We can receive that bonus if we are in the range of our headquarter. So in this case, our headquarter is here, and this is our leader. And any unit that has this blue color, which means those battalions are part of the same brigade, here you can see that this is HQ power and it's 100. So we have, if we click on this button, we have 100 power of our headquarters. So our leader can fully use his skills for the battle. If we go to our leader, to his card, you can see that he is good in tank tactics. We have 44 skill for tank tactics, also infantry tactics. He has the demolition skills, which is good to reduce the effect of enemy entrenchment, but sadly he has only 0. But the skill exists, so sooner or later maybe he will improve it, especially because you can see he has 26 usage points. If you would like to learn more about this, how to read this card, watch my video about leaders. Please notice that I keep my headquarter units behind the front line, so 1 hex or more away from the place where we have direct fight with enemy, to keep operational commander safe. There is much more probability that he will die here during the direct combat than when he is leading from behind the front line, but he has a skill lead from the front, which is increasing the probability that he will be directly involved in the battle, so he might die. But he can increase the morale of fighting units thanks to that. So there is always a trade-off. Remember that your SHQ commander is also helping during any battle, and he can also die, but the chance is very small. But for operational commanders, the chance to be killed in action is higher, especially if his unit is receiving a damage. Okay, so what else we can read in this section? Also, this is how fast our unit will retreat. By default, the standard value is 50%, but as you saw, some stratagem cards can modify this value. Here is the breakthrough possibility. So tanks have higher breakthrough than the infantry, and this is the chance to get the replacements by the units, and this is integrity of the unit. So if we go to the tanks that had some losses, you can see the integrity is 75%. So this is the same percent that we can check in the unit administration. Here you can see this is unit integrity, 75%. It means that they are missing some units from their table of organization and equipment. So what else we can do? We can move another infantry here to have more units. So we will attack from 4 directions, and we can also go to our headquarter unit and ask the commander to give some orders which will help us. So click this stratagem button, and I have some stratagem cards for headquarters generated by the staff council, and I can select this one. So the order will be for infantry, go all out attack and increase the attack by 75%, of course, with a cost of defense and no entrenchment, and die when retreat. So, a quite radical order, but, well, we expect that they are defending, so they will not attack. So we can try to focus only on attack. I execute this stratagem.
Yes, sir.
And now we can see we have this posture. And if we check now the situation and we add our units to fight, so below, we can see that the odds are better. We can add one of the tanks, so they are even much better. But please notice that the concentric bonus now is 80%, and we have also bonus from the stratagem card for the posture, plus 75%, so it's much better. Maybe we could even add another battalion from this brigade and check how it would look like now. But you can see that the odds are worse, and if we remove the unit, the odds are better. So this is also important that units from the same formation, so with the same color, are fighting together better, and they have better coordination to get concentric bonus. But if we will add another unit, please notice this concentric bonus decreased from 80 to 54. This is because it's harder to coordinate maneuvers between units from different formations. Usually it's better to attack with one formation, so please take it into account. So I will remove this unit, and now it's better. We may even add a tank. Now they receive the negative modifier for caliber, and we have terrain negative modifier, but only for tanks. And the odds are 2.6, still not good because we might have losses. If you have, 10 to 1, it's safe to attack, but 3 to 1, we might have losses. So we learned that using single formation is more effective. And regarding formations, you can change the color of the formation if you click on the operational headquarter unit. If you go to the unit administration, and here you can change the color. So instead of pink, if I would like to have green, change, update, and they are now green. But let's restore our pink color. Before I will give order to the final attack, we need to understand one important element, which is how the game understands attacker and defender. If we perform an attack, everyone is attacking everyone. It's not like only we are attacking them and they are defending. They also will attack, and all our subunits will attack their subunits. So the fight is simultaneously, and it's good to understand which attributes of our units are used. So the green triangle is always defense for us and for the defending side. So if our infantry is attacking other infantry, sometimes people think that our soft attack will be used against their soft defense, and this is their defense. No, our soft attack will be used against their hit points, so this is their defense, and they will attack us back using their soft defense against our hit points. So in this case, we'll use 55 against their defense, which is 50, and they will attack us because we are also soft target, so they will use the second number because they are defending side. So they will use soft defense as their attack, so 75 against our hit points, 106. So we also will be defending. And in case of tanks, if our tank will attack infantry, we will also use the soft attack because attacking soft target against their hit points, and then they will use hard defense because they are defending against hard target. So they will attack our tanks using hard defense. So 37 will be attacking our first number in hit points, so 138, because tanks have two hit points. One is against infantry and second one is against non-infantry. So if other tank is attacking us, then we have this defense, and if an infantry is attacking tanks, we use the first number. So please remember that the two numbers are always attack depending on the target type, so hard target or soft target, and the first number is used by the attacking side, and the second two numbers are used as attack for the defending side, depending on the target. And hit points are always a defense for both sides. This is important to understand, and now we can attack. So we give an order to attack using tanks, our infantry from the same brigade. The odds are not very satisfactory because we may expect losses, even we might lose the battle, but we have a slightly bigger chance to win than they to defend, but still we might expect heavy losses. 10 to 1 would be very good, 5 to 1 would be okay, but nearly 3 to 1 is very risky. Let's try. Here you can see the round of the battles increasing. Each round costs us 10 action points. So the units are using the action points for each round of the battle. And finally we have a success So we have won because more of our units were operational and none of enemy units could stay on the battle. Most of them retreated and big amount was killed. We have some losses, 4 subunits killed and some retreated, but this is okay. I would say it went better than I expected. There was a chance that we could even lose this battle. So let's check also here. There are messages because if we are attacking hex with some assets, we can damage them. So we damage few of the assets. Even you can see in the last row that we have killed the governor of the zone. Here you can see we increased the recon points to the maximum possible. So 400 is the maximum needed to know everything about enemy, but this is the maximum for the hex. And our operational commander was very good. His rolls were really great. You can see 500% increase to hit points because of escape artist. This was the main reason when we won the battle with so little losses, because he had a good roll for escape artist skill, 300% hit points more. Our posture also was helping, and concentric attack was great bonus. In their case, the entrenchment was the main factor for their defense and the posture. But you can see the posture gave us half what we could receive from all of attack. And their commanders had really bad rolls. They added nothing to help their units in the fight. So that's why also they lost. So we had very good roll for our operational commander. Even SHQ commander gave some nice bonus, but they have really poor efficiency of their commanders. This is, I think, the main reason why we won and they lost. On the screen, on the left, we can see our units, on the right, enemy units, and each unit is built from some subunits. And in Shadow Empire, during each round of the battle, each subunit is performing attack on one of the enemy subunits. Usually it's a random unit selected and only one per round. So if in the detail tab we can check that we had 6 rounds of the fight, it means that each subunit during the battle performed 6 attacks. And here we can see efficiency of that attacks. So 1 unit was killed and 4 hit. But this tank could hit only 2 units. And for example, this unit was very unlucky. They hit nobody, and this unit was very lucky and could hit 12 units during the battle. Of course, we said previously that during each round we attack once, so why 12? We should have maximum 6. But also, when enemy is attacking this unit, the unit can counterattack and also can pin or damage enemy units. So it looks like this unit was attacked 6 times and could counter-attack 6 times, and also it could attack 6 times. So that's why we have 12, and 12 is the maximum amount of attacks we could have during this battle. And again, to check if there is hit or miss, simply compares the modified attack of that unit with hit points of the selected random unit that we are attacking. And if there is equal number of attack to the hit points, we have 50% to hit. If you have double, then their hit points, we have 75%, and we have 2 times less, we have 25%, and so on. I would say the modified attack and modified hit points are the main factor to hit. And after we hit enemy unit, then the game check what was the result of the hit. So it can be kill. It's not confirmed, but on the different forums, people say that there is a base value like 12% to have a kill, and some weapons have bigger percentage, like some atom-based rockets, or artillery have 5% to kill somebody. So this is not documented. 12% base, 5% artillery and range units, and 30-50% for some very special rare weapons that are like mass destruction weapons or micro nukes. So one result of the hit can be kill. Another one can be that unit is pinned. So if we go to the details, we can see that here we attacked somebody and the result was that the defender was pinned. It means that the defender is losing 50% of the readiness and 10% of morale and 50% of the entrenchment. So it's quite good result. Another result can be that the unit will simply retreat. I think it somehow depends on the morale of the unit, maybe. So this is capitulation. It's possible when the subunit morale is below 25 points and readiness below 50 points, there is a chance that the unit will simply capitulate. Here the whole unit panicked. So if the percentage of losses is higher than their morale, then they have panic retreat. And in this case, also they had low morale, so they surrendered. In case of retreat, they are losing also 50% of the readiness and 5% of the morale. Please also notice that there are some special subunits. Those are the featured units that can be attached to different units, and they are supporting our other subunits. They are not fighting directly, but they are supporting one or more units. And this, for example, guy, People's Hero, is supporting this unit because you can see there is a small image representing this special feature unit. And there are different kinds of such units. They are very helpful. Some are increasing experience, but some are really helping. Like this one is increasing attack value by 30% of this unit. So you can see that this unit was quite effective, probably also because it had this unit attached. Please also notice that here on the second page we had some kills and hits from the machine guns, because machine guns have higher soft defense, so they can attack with bigger amount of attack points compared to our hit points, so that's why they have better chance to hit us, and they are quite effective in a defense. But let's try to load previous round and do the same battle once again and check if the result will be the same or different. You can see we have much less support from our commanders and they have better support from there. And you can see this time we have lost defender health. I think because we gave only 60%, not 100 or 300, and they gave finally 30% and here 9. So you can see how important are commanders. Also, it can be that the roles were simply different, but we can see that this really decreased. So this confirms that you can even lose, but it's less probable. So let's check other options. We can scroll to the report using paging for enemy and for our units. We can zoom out. Now it's easier to understand what is the status of each unit during the battle. So they retreat, they panic, they hold, and each particular subunit status. Also for our units, they lost all action points, so they couldn't continue the battle, and we had quite many losses. And in the textual information about the battle, we have a breakdown for each type of units and a number of soldiers who were dead, retreat, or stay alive. And below, what is the change for readiness, experience, morale, entrenchment for both sides. You can see that we nearly reduced their entrenchment and their readiness. And here you can see that their commander, Isabel, was killed in action. So she was killed in action. Normally, if your commander will be killed in action, there will be red background for the screen. And for enemy, you can miss this information, but you can see it here. And also what's the damage to any assets in that hex. This time the governor was not killed. In the battle report, we have the same information here. Here breakdown per each unit. Here some statistics, how each troop was fighting against each enemy type. So you can compare efficiency of the models. And here modifiers that are average modifiers for 10 combat rounds. So you can compare what was the factor that influenced hit points and attack per each unit type and for the defender. But remember that this is average. And let's go back to the detail review. So you can see we had 10 rounds of the combat, and you can have detailed information for each round, for each formation, and each individual subunit, what was happening during that round for that unit. So at the end, this unit was forced to retreating because you can see that we were attacked by their infantry and finally they hit and forced to retreat, and they were attacking with their hard defense, and it was compared with our tank hit points for infantry, and we were attacking their machine guns using our full soft attack value versus their hit points. But then our soft attack was modified by the attack startup, landscape, so the ruins, readiness. So we lost a lot. And then the positive bonuses are applied. So at the end, after modifications, we attacked with 300 points compared to 180 on their side. So probably we had about 75% to hit them. And we missed because the attack was missed. So it was unfortunate. And then they counterattack and they use their hard attack versus our hit points for infantry. And also other unit attacked, but they missed. And we counterattack them using soft attack versus their hit points. So you can see this is attack and counterattack, attack and counterattack. And everyone is using soft attack or hard attack. And the defender is always using soft defense and hard defense as their attack. If the combat progresses, we have more rounds. You can see that now in this round we are retreating, and at the end of the round we are still retreating because we need 2 rounds of the combat to fully retreat. So in round 3 we finally retreated, and during the retreating we have enemy has negative modifier to hit us, but we cannot counterattack or hit enemy during the retreating. And this exclamation mark means that we managed to do a breakthrough here through enemy lines. It means that in the next round we have this symbol at the start of the round, and now we can also attack enemy support units like artillery and trucks. Normally you cannot attack enemy support units because they are staying behind the front line, but after breakthrough we can also attack enemy trucks and artillery. And please notice that during the first 2 rounds, for example, infantry, if we are attacking, we have attack startup modifier, so minus 75%. And the second round, we have minus 50%. And the third round, if we attack, we don't have this attack startup modifier. It means that first 2 rounds, our units are less effective because they need to approach enemy lines. And only starting from third round of the combat, we can have full attack. So you should avoid short battles where your action points let you fight only, like say, to round 5, because first 2 are you are always less effective. So from here we started a real fight. And over each round you can see how the situation was changing for this particular formation, because this formation has different situations. Some dead, some retreated, some breakthrough. For example, here we attacked enemy machine guns, and then the machine guns counter-attack, but machine guns have soft defense much higher than normal units, and our defense was similar to their attack, so they had about 50% to hit us, and after hitting, their roll for the type of hit was a kill. So this is probably the 12% chance that they had, and they did it. So they killed our unit in defense. So we have won the battle, and now our units can enter the city, and the cost of the movement is 0 action points because the units need to pay some action points to start the battle. So the game already includes that movement for this hex. So we can move here for free. And now our city is secured and mission complete. And here I would like to show you how terrain obstacles can affect fighting. So there's a river here. It's not very visible, but there is a river, and the unit from the north will fight across the river. So let's do the attack, and you can see here is a river modifier for the attacking side because we need to cross the water. Also here there is a unit with artillery, and you can see that we have negative modifier because of possible close combat modifier. So the game expects that the enemy will be able to break through and attack our artillery. So if we add more units, then we have less chance to the breakthrough, and now the modifier is not visible. This is how the rivers and also canyons can affect our combat result. And here another example. If we are low on supply and we attack, we can have this supply ammo fuel modifier. So if we are low on any of those 3 elements, there will be negative modifier. In this case, there is only because of food, but also ammo or fuel can cause a negative combat modifier for our units. And here another example, when we attack and we switch to range attack to perform attack using our range units, usually we see here the nearby artillery units that we can use, but some units have range higher than 1, and then we can use the map button to better check what units we can select to the combat. And this is the unit 3 hexes away from our enemy, so we can select the unit, click this button. Now you can see here that it's checked, and if we go back, this unit is select. So you can select from here, but sometimes if you have many units and they're fighting on different front lines, using the map selection can be better. Here another example, we are on volcanic planet, and on this planet there is, if we go to help and planet statistics, you can see there is exposure hazard level 7, so there is instant death on immediate exposure. So this is also affecting the death rate of our soldiers, because if there will be any decompression of their armor, they will have instant death instead of being wounded. So let's check and do some battle in that conditions. So our militia will be sent here to fight with those enemies, and let's do example fight. Okay, and now if we go to details, here in battle report you can check that our militia attacked enemy, then enemy counter-attacked, and the result of their hit was retreat, but because of the hazard exposure roll was negative for us, we suffered pressure loss, and there was 65% chance to avoid death, but the roll was failure, and the retreat was changed to kill because of the hazard exposure in our planet. And in this case, the same situation, but this time we have successful roll for the exposure, and the pinned status stayed. If we would fail that roll, the pin would be changed to kill. So the fighting in a planet with such level of hazard may be very dangerous for our units. And the last element is the feast profile. If we go to manage profiles, if you have feast profile high enough, so in this case minimum 60 points, and you will get this feature of feast profile, the benefit is combat bonus plus 25%, very helpful bonus to our units. And also if you will reach this feature, the combat bonus is plus 30%. I hope this was helpful. Please check other videos in our playlist and enjoy the art and music.
Soldiers shouting through the haze, desperation fills the days. We are out of supply, they cry, empty hands in battle sky. Bullets gone, the rifles mute, echoes die in heavy boots. Cry for ammo, cry for more, shadows creep and close the door. Desperation in the air, empty pockets, nothing there. We are out of supply tonight, holding on with all our might. Hungry eyes and thirsty throats, counting flames and sinking boats. In the silence, loud and clear, hope is just a souvenir. Dust and dirt and broken dreams, silent whispers, muffled screams, fading lights in endless night, waiting for the morning's light. Desperation in the air, empty pockets, nothing there. We are out of supply tonight, holding on with all our might. Desperation